Yes, component commander.
He hasn't reported before you left.
My words of advice to Ogun officers Ahmed. Hip, hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip, hip. Hooray! Louder! Hip, hip, hip. Hooray! Brad will replace address. Replace address. Monitor, at the end of your address, may I have your permission to continue with the rest of the parade? Sir!
We have the decree 63 setting up those free zones. And of course, we also have the Nigeria Customs Service Act, the new one, which regulates the activities of customs in those free zones. I urge you to keep yourself abreast of these developments, particularly the enactment of the new law, because apart from the powers that the new law has given to us, there are also new sets of responsibilities and obligations which goes with the powers. So it's important that you, at your own time, find copies of this law, begin to get yourself familiar with them, and very shortly, very soon, our head office in conjunction with the Office of the Legal Advisor will be organizing sensitization program for all our officers to let them understand the provisions of the new law. Apart from that, you can also not afford to relent in your efforts in keeping yourself abreast of developments in customs generally. Your promotion exercise would be rolled out very soon for those of you that are eligible to promote for promotion. And you know that your questions will not be related to excise and free zones alone. Every customs officer wearing this uniform must be robust enough, must be versatile enough to understand all procedures of customs, all the major regimes of customs procedures in the seaports, in the airports, the border stations, transshipment, excise. These are all areas where your knowledge will be tested. So I urge you to redouble your efforts. The responsibility to pass your promotion exam lies with you. So also is your personal responsibility to look after your health. The rate at which customs officers are succumbing to those general sicknesses is becoming alarming. We have so many officers, when they are tested, they have very high blood pressure. So many of them are battling with diabetes. So many of them have problems managing their weight. The responsibility to address all of this lies with you, not with the service. So you must find it within your own personal program to align your lifestyle with the demand of your health. Luckily, you are in a place like Abeokuta where the stress of moving around is not too much. So I challenge you, go and work out a regime of keeping fit so that those negative health conditions that are avoidable, you will not succumb to them. I also want to charge you to cooperate with your customs area controller, who is a tested and trusted hand in all the previous assignments that he has been given. And by the time you work closely and cooperate with him, you are going to make his job of supporting the Controller General easier. So once again, I thank you for coming out to welcome my delegation and I. I wish you all a successful tenure here in Abeokuta. Thank you very much.
Since my assumption of duty, I have made it a part of my program to touch base with our critical stakeholders who are operating in different sectors. We are here because you are there. We are making progress only when you make progress. There can't be any progress for us to report if there are challenges with your operations. And therefore, I have made it a deliberate policy to put your operations at the cornerstone of our own activities. My understanding is that you are actually the critical stakeholders for us. It is through your activities that we can report our own activities. And it's therefore in our interests that we do everything to ensure that your companies, your businesses prosper. I do know that some of you are operating in free zone areas that we have, and sometimes we do have some misunderstandings regarding the application of the law or the interpretation of the extant laws and things like that. The first major step that we are going to take would be to create regular platforms where we can have this kind of discussions that will promote a better understanding of your operational environment and the law that regulates your activities. It is not all of the time that customs officers are overzealous in the implementation of the law. Most of the time, they keep in their mind the basic objectives behind these entities. And you know, the basic objectives are, very, very clear. It is the intention of government through these enterprises to boost foreign exchange for Nigeria, for our economy, to create jobs for Nigerians, to transfer skills, and of course to enhance Nigerian economic development generally. And this is why a number of concessions, number of waivers have been granted to operators of this free zone. So it is therefore the responsibility of customs to ensure that enterprises operate within the precinct of the law and within the areas, the limits of those concessions and waivers that are given to them. So like I said, just before I left Abuja, I had a session with the Managing Director of the Nigerian Export Promotion Zones Authority and the Oil and Gas Free Zone Authority. The week before then, I was at the free zones in Lagos, Lekki Free Zone and Lagos Free Zones. I listened to some of the challenges that they have, some of their fears. They expressed their concerns in the operation, in the free zone area. And I set up a committee consisting representative of these enterprises, the Nigerian Export Processing Zones Authority and the Oil and Gas Authority, working with representatives from my office to look into all the areas of concerns, the grievances, the challenges that they encounter, and see how we can start on a very smooth and clean note, so that the encumbrances that have been reported, the hiccups, some of those challenges would be a thing of the past. I believe that customs will be happier with very stronger free zones that are operating up to their installed capacity. I saw a number of enterprises when I visited the zone that are operating far below their installed capacity. So it would be our joy to get all these agencies operating at full capacity. That would be the only way in which they can bring more Nigeria into their into their fold. That would be the only way in which they can generate more foreign exchange